Sentire Media.
Welcome to the Stop Italian Sounding podcast, uncovering authentic Italian food. I'm your host, Robert Campana, and join me as we delve into the rich heritage of genuine Italian food, exploring its legends, history, and traditions. Through important tips and insightful interviews with industry professionals, you'll gain a deeper understanding of authentic Italian food. Welcome back, everyone, to the Stop Italian Sounding show, uncovering authentic Italian food. So, when we think of Italian sandwiches, we typically think of the word panini or panino in the singular form. You know, a delicious rustic Italian bread with cured meats and cheeses, oftentimes warmed up to create the perfect and simple, of course, panino. But what if I told you that there is actually another type of sandwich that exists in Italy and its history actually involves the US? Yep, that's right. I'm talking about the Tramezzino. Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you've seen it before while in Italy. So I want to briefly discuss its history. So picture this. It's the early 1900s and people at that time from Italy are moving all over the place. They're migrating, looking for new opportunities. And among them are a couple from Piemonte in the northwestern part of Italy, a couple by the name of Angela Demichelis and Onorino Nebiolo. It's funny, the last name Nebiolo is similar to the grape used to make Barolo, called Nebbiolo with two B's. Anyway, just the thought that popped into my head. So going back to the history of the Tramezzino, the other sandwich that we're talking about. So this couple heads to the United States to find their fortune, of course. And Angela at the time is a woman way ahead of her time because she's driving cars, running restaurants, and literally making her mark. However, after some time and some success in the United States, they actually decide to return to Italy with their kids and, of course, with some cash in hand. And as we fast forward to more or less 1925 in Torino, which is the capital city of the region of Piemonte, at the time the city's buzzing, but with a different vibe. And its cultural, let's just say, vibrancy has kind of changed. But in a nice Portico in the Piazza Castello, there's actually a place up for sale during that time called Caffè Mulassano or Mulassano. I'm not sure how specifically it's pronounced. And this cafe was opened in 1907 by Amilcare Mulassano or Mulassano. And it really has style, according to my research, because it has marble counters and even frescoes inside. So that's pretty darn cool, in my opinion, to have random frescoes inside of a cafe. Anyway, Angela and Onorino see a lot of potential and jump at the chance to buy it. Now, here's where it actually gets quite interesting because they brought back with them from the United States an American innovation. We're talking about a toast making machine. And they knew, of course, Italian taste. They had to create something brand new. It couldn't just simply be toast. So they decided to create toast with unheated bread. So this is when the quote-unquote tramezzino is actually born around this time. And this isn't your typical rustic bread like a panino. It's soft, it's square, and it's totally unique to the city of Torino where it was invented. And it's similar to what we will call in American English, quote-unquote wonder bread or white bread. So anyway, Angela meticulously cuts off the crust to create fluffy squares. And the first filling that she uses for this sandwich, which is called a tramezzino, is a simple but delicious mix of butter and anchovies, which I'm sure is not something that you were expecting. But here's where it gets quote-unquote poetic, because the famous Italian poet at the time, Gabriele D'Annunzio, visits this cafe and asks for one of those delicious tramezzini. And in fact, the name that D'Annunzio gave is the diminutive of the Italian term tra mezzo, which means in between. And that's exactly what this type of sandwich is. It's something that you put in between two slices of bread. You put things in between two slices of bread. And that, in fact, is when the tramezzino was born, typically cut in a triangular shape. So it's actually something that became a very loved Italian classic. And today it's celebrated, believe it or not, in many eateries throughout Italy and homes, of course, throughout all different regions of Italy with different regional spins, as you would imagine. It even makes some appearances in gourmet dishes, believe it or not. So anyway, as we wrap up today's very quick episode, I just want to mention that even though this is a recent culinary invention in Italy, it is proof that food doesn't have to have centuries-old history to become one of the staples in the culinary identity of Italy. And it seems to me, at least, that Italians really tend to have this unique ability to invent things and then have them quickly become traditions that are loved by many. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the stories of authentic Italian cuisine. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast for more insights and interviews. Also, feel free to reach out with your thoughts or questions on our social media channels at Stop Italian Sounding or on our website, stopitasounding.com. Grazie a tutti e alla prossima.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com, that's SENTIRE media.com, and find out how to submit your show.